Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please hit the like and subscribe button so that you're notified every time I post a new video. Yeah, so today is story time, guys. So yeah. Experience I had recently while administering my mom's estate. So yeah, so here I am thinking this is just going to be a breeze. I'll do the administration and get it over and done with. So it happened that when my mom passed, she left property in another country. So once you become an administrator, it's your job to make sure that you collect all the property belonging to the deceased. So yeah, this is me telling myself, okay, this administratorship is gonna be a breeze. I know where everything is and just get it done and be out of there like nothing happened. So I used to hear stories from my friends actually before I should get into my own story about how, you know, their uncles and relatives or whatever would get their property after their parents passed and they ended up remaining with nothing. So in 2022, you would think such behavior is very archaic, but apparently not. Even people that are not your relatives will feel some entitlement to your parents' property or maybe a relative's property, but despite them not even being related to you in any shape or form. So anyway, back to my story. So here I am in that country with my little grant of letters of administration, which I got obviously from the High Court of Zambia when my mom passed. So because I'm a lawyer, I obviously know the procedures. So I read beforehand what I needed to do. So even going into it, I knew exactly what I was going to do. So yeah, here I am, get into the country where the property is situate and go to the High Court of that country. And once I get to the High Court, I explain to the master of the High Court there that this is the issue, blah, blah. I just need a resealing of the grant, the letters of administration that I got from Zambia. So the master gives me some forms to fill out, and yeah, filled out those forms. They ask for a few details, death certificate, and all the works which I already had in hand. So yeah, submitted those forms, and that's how the High Court of that country resealed my Zambian grant. Yeah, so they resealed the grant and gave me a grant from their country. Basically it's the same thing. So they gave me a grant from their country that allows me to be able to administer my mom's estate in their country. So yeah, got the grant, and yeah, from there on I was like, okay, now that we actually have some legal footing, let us get to the property. So we get to the property, and so one of the assets that my mom left was in the custody of somebody. So I tell this person, hey, I'm here, and I'm here for my mom's assets, the ones that she left behind. And yeah, so this person, yeah, gives me a story, a very long ass story, which at the point I was just like, you know what, this is not making sense. For me, my job is to administer the estate. And this person did leave kids, they left beneficiaries, they left the whole family behind. So whatever it is that you feel you might be entitled to is neither here nor there. So that's something we can deal with at a later stage. So yeah, so we did a little bit tag and roll with this person over that particular asset. So eventually I was like, okay, wait, I'm the administrator. Me coming and asking you is a courtesy. It's not that I really have an obligation to do anything that you tell me to do. I'm basically just here to deal with these assets. So yeah. So I went above his head and I did what I was supposed to do. Yeah, which was to deal with their estate, to administer the estate. So that situation, it got me thinking, on my part, it was easier for me to be able to deal with somebody who feels entitled to an asset that's not theirs, because I actually have a legal understanding of what the role of an administrator is, what happens when somebody dies interstate, leaving assets in other countries or even within Zambia. So I basically have an understanding on how to go about such situations. So it got me thinking, in the sense that for somebody who doesn't know, who doesn't have any legal knowledge, how do they go about such situations? Yeah. So guys, this is just basically a little bit of advice. Honestly speaking, if you have a parent that passed and you have these relatives or whoever that wants to take the property away from you as a child of that person, honestly speaking, that is archaic. That is old-fashioned. That stuff does not exist anymore. Property grabbing is dead and gone, please. The laws have changed. The law has stipulated who benefits when somebody dies without a will, who benefits when there is a will or that is written in law. And secondly, secondly, when someone who is not an administrator decides to do anything with the property of a dead person or a deceased person, that is a criminal offense. I know most people don't know that, but it's a criminal offense. When you intermeddle with a property of a deceased without the authority of a court, you have committed an offense. So guys, I think it's very important for you to gather a little bit of knowledge. If you lose a loved one and you feel certain situations are happening in your family, I would advise you to go and seek proper advice, proper legal advice, so that you know how to go about the situation and you don't find yourself in a place where you feel, okay, these people are taking everything, and you feel frustrated and you're just like, okay, I'm just going to let it go because these people have taken everything from me and I'm left with nothing. And then you're I don't know what word I can say. I'm trying to figure out the right word. Yeah, but anyway, you get to that place where you just be like, I'm letting it go. It's over and done with. No, you don't have to let it go. When you lose a parent, it's a very big deal. It's something that's painful. It's something that you need to grieve through. But after the burial, there are other things that need to be dealt with. Life, even when somebody dies, after they are buried, life goes on. So don't allow people to come and get things that belonged to your parents, all in the name of family, or no, I knew your mother, I knew your father, I knew your grandparent, or whatever. No. Get yourself some proper sound advice. And if you have to fight it, fight it, because at the end of the day, you're a beneficiary to this person. So yeah. And with my situation, crazy story, I actually just don't even really want to go into the details, but I just couldn't believe I was put in a place where I had to go back and forth over my mom's asset with somebody who's a non-relative, they looked at it in a way like, hey, I'm giving you this asset because I'm doing you a favor. Like, no, you're not doing me a favor. This person spent money on that asset. Their hard-earned money, not your money. So at no point are you doing me a favor. If you think you are not. And worse off, it was the thing of entitlement, which bugged me a lot. And it's not just even with them, it's with experience as well of encountering people. And you tend to realize that people have this level of entitlement to other people's belongings. I don't know where we get that from. I don't know if it's an African thing or what, but people just normally feel really, really entitled to other people's belongings, to such an extent that when this person is no more here, they feel they should be at the top of the list of people who should get whatever the person owned. Yeah, so before we even get to those brothers and sisters that feel entitled, those aunties and uncles and whatnot, the law is going to look at, hey, did this person, who is the surviving spouse, who are the children, who are the dependents of this person? And then if those people, that's me talking of it in interstate. So if then those people are not there, then the law will now start looking at those near relatives. Then that's when those brothers and sisters will now start coming through, and later on probably the aunties and uncles, and unless that person literally had zero family, then yeah, that's another situation over there. So yeah, guys, it's very important to be knowledgeable about some of these things. It doesn't mean knowing about what to do after death has got nothing to do with you being a lawyer or not, but these are real issues. These are issues that people face on a daily when they lose a loved one. And you know, the most hectic thing is to have to deal with property or assets or an estate that has been left in another country, because then you're talking about having to comply with the laws of that other country in order to move those assets back to the place that the deceased called home. So yeah, so it's just important for you to just gather a little bit of knowledge, and truly don't be afraid to ask questions. Nobody ever died from asking a simple question. So ask question, make inquiries like, how do I go about this? How do I go about this? I just lost my parent and whatnot, and yeah. Or I lost my grandparent, and this is the person that took care of me since I was God knows how old. So how do I deal with this situation? So in times like that, it's very important for you to actually get all the information that you need before you go ahead and make a decision. The one thing I learned, like with my situation, is don't make rash decisions. If you need time, take a step back, look at the situation entirely, and then make a decision. Don't just act on impulse. Don't act on emotion. When somebody dies, it's very easy to act on those emotions. Or when it's something that belonged to somebody that you love, it's so easy for you to react in emotion. So take a step back, think about it, and then act. So yeah, guys, I managed to actually deal with those assets which were in another country, thankfully. the law was kind. So yeah, so managed to deal with the assets, dealt with all the other things that were left pending by my mom in that country. So I would say, generally speaking, it went well, though I think the other hiccup would have probably been, you know, when you're moving assets across a border, so then you have those revenue things to deal with. But besides that, it was quite a learning curve for me. It was quite a learning curve for me as a lawyer, as a person, as a child, and yeah. But I will say this, I am not doing that anytime soon. So please, nobody should appoint me as an administrator or executor in any will or whatever. I'm not doing that anytime soon. It can get quite emotionally draining at some point, but yeah. So that was my little story time for today. I hope I shared something that is a little bit vital and helpful, but let it be known, property grabbing is dead and gone. That stuff does not exist anymore. For people that think, no, they grabbed my property, no, I'm gonna grab, guys, you're gonna go to jail. Okay, maybe let me not say jail, jail is too dramatic, but yeah, it's an offense. So please, nobody should grab anybody's property. Just go through the right channels, and yeah, whatever is meant to be yours will be yours if you go through the right channels. You can't lay a claim on something that is not yours. That would be selfish, that would be greedy, and definitely unlawful. So yeah, guys, that was my little story time for today.